You are so gorgeous. Just give me a few days and I promise you I'll take good care of you. We'll get you stood up, get you installed so perfectly. Oh wait, is that, oh crap, is that recording? All right guys, welcome back to Project Dad Life. My name is Mike. Today is going to be a part 3 of your fired video. This was a metal shop kind of build series that I did on my channel. If you haven't seen it, check it out below. If you're building a shop, thinking about buying a shop, or in the process of one, you probably want to watch a few of these videos as I kind of relate and show you my problems and talk about my problems and a lot of the stuff that you should watch out for. That being said, we're going to go over a couple final details of what I decided, especially with the trusses, on what I'm finally going to do about it. And also I want to share with you guys some success with some shop additions that we just purchased. So stay tuned. We're going to go over all this and kind of give you guys a better direction on our future projects. So if you're in the car industry or the shop industry, or you do that type of work on cars, motorcycles, whatever, if you have a 2-post car lift to work on that, especially at your personal house, I consider that successful. Please don't take this as bragging or anything of that sort. You know, I've saved for about 8 months to purchase this car lift. So I've been saving for a while. We finally purchased one. So let me show you guys what we got. Also, I'll explain it in just a minute. This car lift is going to help out with our truss issue as well. So we purchased the Race Tools Direct 2-post 9,000 pound car lift. I'm super impressed with it, super proud of it. I mean, the colors look awesome. It's heavy gauge. Came with some nice directions, a whole booklet. It came 100% with everything you need to install it. The only thing it's missing literally is the hydraulic fluid for the motor. So it came with the electrical junction box even for the motor. It came with our 3/4 inch anchors for the concrete. I mean, everything. It's really complete. All the information for this lift will also be in the description below. But it's part number TP9KACX. Yeah, super impressed with it. Even the cradle that they fabbed up to transport this thing has little ski pads on the bottom of the feet, and it just makes it super easy to move. So unloading and loading this thing on my trailer was not a problem at all. And once this lift gets installed, hopefully next week, that is going to help out with our truss issue. Let me explain. All right, let's get down to business with the shop issues. The main issue I had was the trusses. As you can see behind me, the trusses are still the same. I had a video out where I got so much good information and suggestions on what to do to fix these trusses. The main issue with them is that they pretty much came in half length. The bottom cord on the truss was supposed to be 16 feet. It came in and it was like 8 feet. So I've been trying to figure out how I can fix this. The main reason I was delaying is because I was waiting to get this 2-post car lift installed. That way, what I'm thinking, once I get that secured to the concrete, it's going to be about 12.5 feet tall, and it's going to be under about 3 of these trusses, especially for head height, so I can figure out what I'm going to do and how I'm going to fix it. Now, my thought process is once I get the car lift up, I can use that as probably the most secure platform you can get, and then I can underbrace the trusses or maybe take a little bit of load off of at least that back half and kind of support them from the top of the car lift and then lift it up. Not really lift it up, but support it. We already have a center section, a big thick metal piece that goes across and bolts the 2 posts together and holds them vertically, and then they're bolted down to the concrete, and these things are like a 1/4 inch thick everywhere. So I figure if that car lift falls over, something happens, then that's going to be a huge disaster. So might as well take the whole shop down with it, right? No, but I think that that would be the best way to support that half of the truss. The other half of the shop, I'll have 4 more trusses that I'll have to deal with. And some of you guys suggested the wire tension cables to actually hold the wall tension together. And I think that's what I'm going to go with. I think I'm going to run those stainless steel cords under each truss with the turnbuckles and tighten them up. And that way I can hold that tension. The main concern about your roof falling in is when your walls push out. So if you can keep those walls vertical and keep them straight, then that will wipe out a lot more of your risk of your roof caving in and blowing out your walls. So yeah, I think that's the plan, guys. I think I'm gonna cable tension 4 trusses on my kind of workshop side, and then the back car bay side where the lift is, I'm just gonna use that car lift to my advantage and use it as kind of like wall studs and support the trusses on the top of that car lift. Now I won't like bolt anything down or put any kind of pressure. I'll kind of just make something to fill in the gap from the bottom of the truss to the top of the car lift, and then just kind of lightly, you know, take some of the load off, maybe take some of the downward load off, just kind of take a little bit of tension out of it. That's it. So I think that's gonna work. What do you guys think? So another issue I wanted to address and let you guys know and kind of give you my final verdict was, everybody says you should have went red iron or you should have did this. And yes, I totally agree. If you are in the market for a metal building, a tubed structure metal building, really do your homework and consider the red iron building. When I say red iron, I mean your big I-beam steel building that is a commercial they put up. They'll have a big I-beam about every 10 feet or so and then put the paneling on. It's way better of a building, and the prices aren't that much more than these tube buildings. If I could go back in time, yes, I would absolutely pick a red iron building over this tube structure. But now this is what I have to deal with, so we're gonna make it work and kind of fix all these issues that we are left with. The next issue is, yes, that is light coming in from above my wall. I haven't sealed that up yet. I was thinking about sealing that up, but I wanted to wait until summertime to see what the breeze is like and how hot this shop gets. That's not really a mistake. That is pretty much just missing a product. What happened was I switched the panels from going horizontally ribbed to the ribs going vertical. So when it gets to the top, there is a closure up there, a box closure, which let's go outside and I'll show you guys what I'm talking about. So right here is where you're seeing the light come through the shop, and this paneling is vertical. So you can tell if that paneling went horizontal, then that trim piece right there would sit on a flat spot and it would cover it up perfectly. You wouldn't see any light. But they actually do make a fix for this. They have foam closure pieces for that, and that would completely seal off that area and that light coming in from the inside. Now the main reason I haven't put those closures on there yet is, number one, I've only had a few sunny days out here, so it really hasn't gotten to summertime yet, and we do have a little bit of heat in Georgia. So I was wanting to kind of wait and see how hot the shop gets up there from the sun before I actually close all those up. Because right now, yeah, there is a breeze that comes in, but it actually comes in and goes out through the side. So I think that's kind of acting as like a nice little eave vent. And lastly, the building inspector did pass this building. I mentioned before in a few of the other videos, he kind of walked in and he barely looked at anything. He was like, "Oh, looks good in here. All right, you're good to go." So, you know, waiting for the inspector to fail it and kind of like force the company to, you know, to come back on that. I really think that depends on what county you're with. My county and the building inspector that I use for my entire house build, he was, I really can't think of a word right now to call him that would be politically correct, but he wasn't that on top of his game, I guess I can say. Hopefully that clears up all the issues that you guys were questioning about with the shop, and just, you know, so everybody knows what's going on and what I'm doing to fix it. And yeah, I am happy with it. It's, if I could go back again, like I said before, a million times, I would choose something different, do more research and do the due diligence to know exactly what I'm getting. I didn't. I'll be the first one to admit that. So that being said, we're kind of making progress. We're nipping away at it little by little, and it's becoming, you know, it's becoming a home. I mean, it's a nice shop. I'm super happy with it. So upcoming projects I told you guys about earlier, we have the Trans Am that is coming up very quickly. I got the motor right here under the trash bag. It's the LS motor. We're gonna be swapping this and doing all that fun stuff with that, building the motor. I cannot wait for that project. So me and my son are gonna knock this out, and hopefully we'll have that done in a couple months. Another project I have coming up I'm excited about is a treehouse build for my youngest son. He gets his first treehouse hopefully in a couple weeks. We're gonna start on that, and we have a bunch of home renovation or update stuff coming up as well. So you guys stay tuned for that. Also, I wanted to let you guys know my farmhouse build. We recently finished our farmhouse, and I have a bunch of that video on backlog. I'm gonna start throwing that on this channel. So there's like 10 or 12 episodes on that house build. So I'm gonna start posting those, maybe like 1 or 2 a week. You guys let me know if you like that type of stuff or wanna see it. It was originally for our other family channel, but if any of you YouTubers out there know, I had 2 channels going at one time and it was just way too much. So I'm sticking with this Project Dad Life channel, and this is what we're gonna go full board on. So you guys stay tuned for all that stuff, and I hope you guys like the build series that I did. And like I said, I filmed it when I was building the house. I feel like it's some pretty good content in there and a lot of learning stuff, and a lot of the stuff we did on our own. We hired a builder, but we like to save money and we tried to budget the whole way through. So a lot of it we took over and did on our own as well. So I hope you guys enjoy that. Well, with all that being said, thank you guys for hanging around. If you're still there, please subscribe, like, give a thumbs up, comment, whatever. Hope you enjoy this content, and we will see you guys next week for another project. God bless, and you guys enjoy your Saturday. We'll see you.